Now let me start today a new topic called as method overloading and constructor overloading. So constructor overloading already we have discussed a little bit of in the first unit itself, and here we'll have go for the both method overloading and constructor overloading. The same book we are going to follow the Java complete reference as well as the other resources we are following more. Now first of all we'll talk about method overloading, then we'll go for the constructor overloading. Now, normally overloading means what? Normal general meaning of overloading means when it is increasing the capacity of that particular thing. If it is a 5 kilo packet, if you are forcing to push as 10 kilos packet, then it is a overloaded of that one. So, normal meaning is overloading is beyond the capacity. If you are trying to push it, then it is called as overload. Now, overload is what you are going to overloading here. Now, here we are overloading as method. Now, what is the definition of overloading means? If a class having multiple methods by same name. Remember the word same name. If a class having multiple methods by the same name but different parameters. Now, what is the difference between that different methods is not different methods. Multiple methods with the same name with the different parameters. Right? Example, we are having a class called as a method called as A. This is one method having 0 parameter. Again, one more method we are having with 1 parameter. Again, we have one more method name, the same class name A, that is with 2 parameters, A comma 1 comma 2. Again, we have another method name, the same name A with having 3 parameters. Again, we have one more method called as with the 2 parameters 1.0 and 2.0. But with the 2 parameters here is the data type is integer here, but here the data types are double. Like this, we can having either different parameters or same parameters with different data types. Different data types values also we can accept. So a class with having multiple methods, not different methods, multiple methods by same name, but the different parameters is known as method overload. Now, the advantage of this overloading here is, the advantage of talking about here is, it is going to be, the advantage here is a readable. Okay. Right. So the advantage of here the is increase the readability. Now coming to the ways to how we can implement the method overloading is, there are two ways to overload the methods in Java. The first way is by changing the number of arguments. Just now we have seen for a method A, we are having 0 parameter, 1 parameter, 2 parameter, 3 parameters. That is called as changing the number of arguments. The second way is changing the data type. Changing the data type is talking about, just now we have seen 2 parameters of the same method, that is A 1 comma 2, 2 parameters. Again A comma 1.0, 2.0. The data types you are going to be changing. Which data types? Arguments data types. We are going to be changing the data type of the arguments. So data type of the arguments you are going to be changing over here, and we can do with the help of the number of arguments by changing it. So in these two ways we can do method overloading in Java. And remember a very important point, method overloading is not possible by changing the return type of the method. Return type of the method means what? In the last class I have seen, see, right? The syntax of the method here. This return type, we can't change the return type. The return type for the same method having same, but will not be changed to the return type. If you are changing that one, it will not be allowed. It will give you the compiler error. You can change the number of parameters. You can change the data types of that parameters, but you can't change the data type of a return type of a method name. Okay, that is a very important point. It's not be possible. This is not possible over here. Now see the examples. We'll talk about each and every one to understand each every way. We will go first one by changing the number of arguments. The first one, the example C, the method overloading by changing the number of arguments. Now I'm creating here a class called as calculation. I am creating a two methods, same name, sum, and here also sum. It is having the 2 parameters, and here having the 3 parameters. The return type of this is void, and the return type of this also 1. Both are having the same method name. What is the difference? This having consisting of 2 parameters, and this consisting of 3 parameters. Now I'm calling a method main. I'm creating an object for that class collection calculation. The object name dot sum. This is 3 parameter. It goes to 3 parameter method. It is a 2 parameter. It goes to 2 parameter. This one. So the output of this one, a plus b plus c, is it is a 30, and the output of this 20 plus 20, it is a 40. It will display like this. Okay, and C will run the program calculation. Okay, so here is the practice programs. calculation. Here is the class. Already I have kept it. This is the calculation. So see calculation sum, two parameters, three parameters, and calling with the help of object. We are calling this three parameter, four parameters. Now go to the command prompt. Java C space calculation. Java C space calculation dot Java. No errors. It runs the program. Now see 30 and 40. Okay, so that's about the first type, the changing the number of arguments. Coming to the second one, by changing the data type arguments, data type arguments, we can also do that. Now what I am doing here is I am creating a class calculation 2. I am calling a method sum, and here also sum. Both the return type is void, and this is two parameters, and here two parameters. But what is the difference? These two parameters of type integer, these two parameters of type double. By changing the data types of the arguments, also we can possible method overload. Now I'm just creating an object for this class, and I'm calling 10.5 comma 10.5. It will go these two parameters of where having the function name sum, method name sum, having a two parameters, and that two parameters of type what? Double. It will search and it will go for that respective definition of that method. And here 20 comma 20. So it will search for the sum is a method having two parameters, and that two parameters of type what? Integer. It will goes to here, and the output of this one it gives to 21.0 here because the double, and the output of here is 40. Okay, so let me run the program. So already have a program that is calculation 2. This is calculation 2. And run the program calculation. See 21.0 and 40. So already the program is there in the backend. So here calculation 2.java. Here see calculation 2 and two parameters, but the data type is different, and we are calling this. Okay. So that is the second way of representing the method overloading in Java. Okay. Now let me talk about the why we are not accessing, why we are not need to access, why we are not going to be accessing this. Why method overloading is not possible by changing the return type of the method. By changing the return type of the method, why it is not possible. Now we'll see with one example why it is not possible. Let me see that also. Let me see that also. Now here I'm creating a class called as calculation 3, and I'm creating a method sum and another method sum. Both the parameters are for two parameters. What is the data type of the parameters? Int. It is also int. But what is the return type of this sum and this sum? Int, and this return type is double. So this is int and this is double, right? So the return type is int and double. Now we are calling a main method. I'm creating an object for calculation 3, and I'm calling the function of object.sum. So when it is calling object.sum 20 comma 20, for which method it will be called? The compiler for this method or this method? It will be very confused to the compiler, and it raises the error because here already with the two parameters of the same two parameters of what is the actual arguments here integer and integer only, but only the return type you are going to mention. But here how can the Java determines which sum method should be called, whether I need to call the int sum int of a comma b, double sum of int a comma b, which method I need to call. That's the confusion. That's why the compiler will raise the error. It will raise the runtime error over the compile time error will be raising. Now run the program. So already have class 3, that is calculation 3 already. See that already sum int comma int is already defined in calculation 3. Why you are again defining the sum? It will not bother about the return type. So that's why already sum is there. It is not bother about that one. See, I will change something here in the where is the code? Okay. So here is the calculation 3. Calculation 3. Now this is a program, right? So here is the int and here is the double. Now what I am doing here is here I am going to int. Now here int and here also int. Now Now we are going to giving int and here also int, and here sum, here also sum, here int a comma int b, here int a comma int b. But let me see whether it is run or not. I'm just saving the program and I will just compile that. Let's see. Once I compile here the Java 2, again it is saying the same error. It is saying sum is already defined. Why you are again defining, right? So redundant code will be there. So that's why in Java method overloading is not possible by changing the return type of a method. That's we have to remember very clear. Okay, so there is a one question that can we overload the main method? Yes, we can overload the main method. We can have any number of main methods in a class by method overloading. Definitely, we can have any number of methods we can overload. Okay. Now we have a like for the functions we have a return type, right? Returning a value. Once the task is completed, once you have done the computation, it can be returned with the help of a return keyword. Now here in the method also we can return a value. Now how can we return a value? We'll see one example. Now I'm creating a class called as box here. The data members for this box is width, height, and depth. Three data members I'm going to using here. Now I'm creating a method called as value. What it returns with the help of return keyword is it multiply width, height, and depth. It will multiply all the three and it return that value. Now this is end of the class box. Now I am creating one more class box demo 4. For what purpose? To call the main method. Now I am creating the two objects, my box 1 and my box 2 for this one, and I am creating one more variable called as wall. Now I am assigning values to my box 1 instance variable. uh, Assign values to my box 1 instance variables means what? Here is the instance is there. Here is the object is there. We need to be assigned to that one. Which are the instance variables? These are called as instance variables. We need to call it. When it is called as instance variable, now it is called as only normal variables. Double width, double height, double depth. When it is called as instance variable, when you are calling that variable with the help of the object name dot variable name, object name not variable name, that is my object 1 dot width, my object 1 dot height, my object 1 dot depth, when it is called as instance variable. For that instance variables, what we need to assign some values. How to assign the values? With the help of assignment operator. Let me see how it is assigning. My box 1 dot width equal to 10. This is the assigning 10, assigning values to instance variable. Which one is the called instance variable here? My box 1 dot width is a instance variable. My box 1 dot height is a another instance variable. Now it is assigning 20. It's assigning depth 50. Now assign different values to my box 2's instance variable. Now how to assign is my box 2 dot width equal to 3, my box 2 dot height equal to 6, my box 2 dot depth equal to 9. So once it done it will I'm going to calling the method. How to call the method? The object name dot value method. To whom we are going to assign it? To this one. Because when I call this my box 1 dot value, where the cursor will goes, the execution goes to here. It will goes to here. Now it will multiply my box 1 dot value. What is the my box 1 values are there? 10, 20, 50. Now it will be multiply 10, 20. This is height is 20, width is 10, 10 into 20 into 50. It will be this and equal to 3000. Okay. So this 3000 will be returned. So when it return 3000, where the cursor goes from here to the cursor goes from here to here. It will come back to here. Now once what is this function method will return? This return as 3000. It return. So when somebody has returned it, somebody has their right to receive it. You are going to your hometown. So somebody is there, then only you can go there, right? So going get back that when the method has written something, somebody has to there to receive it. So this is the receiver. Val equal to 3000. Now similarly just display this 3000. Now I'm calling the second box, that is my box 2 dot value. When it is called, it will go back to there, and the values for the my box 2 are 3, 6, 9. The instance where values, right? So 3 into 6 into 9. That is 18 into 9. That is 160. The output of this one. 3 into 6 into 9. So totally the value is 160. It returns and it will store there and it display the value. So the output of this program is like this. Now let me run the program. So here is the program. Right. So box, my box of this. Here. So box demo.java. This is the program. box, and here and box demo 4. This is the code. Okay, let me run the program. Clear the screen. Java C space box demo 4 dot Java. If no errors, run the program. Box demo 4. See, value is 3000 and value is 160. Like this, we can return a value for a method. Now, coming to the next part of the topic, constructor overloading. So, what we have discussed in the method, we have discussed about the purpose of method, advantage, followed by the ways to making the method overloading, followed by we have seen how the examples for changing the number of arguments, method overloading, changing by the data types of the arguments, and why we are not changing the data types. We have seen the reason also, and we also see in the return how we can return a method a value. Okay, now let's go for constructor overloading. So the same, only the part is changed. Instead of method, replaced with constructor. Now, what is the difference between method and constructor? The class name is same as for the constructor, whereas for the method, it will not be, may or may not be mandatory for the class. Name of the class is same as method. Now, constructor overloads is a technique in Java which a class can have any number of constructors that different with respect to parameters. Just now we are saying method overloading is what? Multiple methods with the same name but different parameters. Multiple constructors with the same name but with different parameters. The same multiple methods instead of that multiple constructors. So the compiler differentiates these constructors by taking into account the number of parameters in the list and their type. So how we are going to be changing the number of arguments in method, how we are going to be changing the data type of the arguments. Same we can be change the number of arguments in the constructor, change the data type of the arguments in that constructor. Now there is a two questions for you, that does constructor return any value? Yes, it returns that one. Not required any return variable. Return keyword is required to return what one? This one. Now when you are making a class, for example here, when you are making a class here, when you are making this is a class, right? Now when you are creating a class, a object for this one, C equal to C, that is O means object, new operator, and C is a constructor here. Say for example, now it will be a 0. Now this is a class C. Now what will return after this statement? It returns the current class instance. What is an instance normally? What is an object? An instance of a class. Instance means what? A reference of that object. Now this O is going to be pointing to this one. So any data member or any method you want to access, O dot data member, O dot method name. Like this you are going to access. So does the constructor return any value? Yes, it returns. That is, it returns the current class instance. What is the current class instance in this line? That is O. That is object reference. It will be returning. You can't use the return keyword, return type here. It returns a value. What it returns is a current class instance, right? Can constructor perform other tasks instead of initialization? This is called as initialization list, right? Where you are going to perform a constructor at the right hand side or left hand side? Right hand side. Right hand side means A equal to 10. What you are making, that you are initializing a value as 10. So right hand side, that's why not only this initialization, constructor can also do some other activities, like it will create an objects, it will create the objects here, it will create the object creation, starting a thread, calling the methods, like any number of other tasks can be do. Any operations in the constructors, how a method can do, what are the different operations, the same can be done by the constructor. Okay, so remember this points. And with this help of this one, let me start one small example to understand very clearly about the constructor overloading. I am creating a class called as student file, and I am taking the data members as ID, name, and age. Now I am creating the constructors with two parameters, student file with int and intent. I am creating one more same name constructor with three parameters, int, string, n. So I is assigned to int, n is assigned to name, I to ID, n to name, a to age. Now go back to the another method I am going to using, that is display. What it is displaying? It is display the ID, display the name, and age. These three will be displayed. I am calling the main method. I am creating the objects S1 and S2. Now when you are calling this, creating the object, I am calling an instruction constructor with two parameters. Now it is a triple one current. Two parameter constructor, where it is, it will come back to here. That is two parameters. So here I is assigned to, that is triple one assigned to ID, n is assigned to name. Now again, I am calling a constructor with three parameters, 222, RN, 25. Now it will check where is the three parameter constructor. So here is the three parameter constructor. So I is assigned to ID, 222, N is assigned, that is RN, age A, 25 is assigned to age. Like this is going to be assigned. Now I am calling a method called as S1.display. when I'm calling s1 dot display, what are the values of s1 here? It is pointing to 111 and current. So what is the id of s1? This one 111. What is the name? Current. And what about the age? There is no age value here, so it will take the default value, that is 0. Next, I'm calling s2 dot display. It will call the display method, and it will go for this. id is here. id is 222, and name is rn, and 25 is the age. Like this, the output will be displayed over. So let me run the program so that you can understand very clearly about this one. And here is the student file. Okay, so here is a student file. Here is a student file program. See, here is student file. These are members. I'm using the two constructors, 2 parameter constructor and 3 parameter constructor, and then the method display, and calling the main method, creating the 2 objects, and s1 dot display, s1 dot display. Just to run the program. So Java C student file dot Java. No errors, it will run the program. Java space student file. See, 111 current. So age we are not assigned, that's why it is showing 0. And 222 rn 25. Okay. So like this we can be go ahead for this. This is the constructor role. Okay. Now let me see the difference between the constructor and the method. So the constructor and methods both are looking same except in few cases. Let me see the difference between the constructor and method. The first difference is constructor is used to initialize state of the object, whereas the method behavior of an object. Now constructor must not have any return type. Already just now we have seen, but there is the method having, can have, not must. Some methods we can have, we can use the return type. We can may not be have return type for some methods. We can use also while. Method must have return type. Constructor is invoked implicitly, automatically. Already we have seen some example, right? Class by file. If you don't have the default constructor, it will access the default constructor. So it is calling implicitly. Internally, automatically it will call. The method we have to be explicitly we have to call it by creating the object. We directly we need to call that method, right? So methods are invoked explicitly, whereas constructors are invoked. Invoke means what? Call implicitly. So the Java compiler provides the default constructor if you don't have any constructor inside that one. Method is not provided any default methods in the compiler. So constructor name must be have same as the class name. So here method names may or may not be have the same, because you can use like say for example class student file. Student file can use as a constructor, but you can also use the student file as a method. But where we can differ it is you are going to be directly automatically recall. Say for example in this one, instead of display here, instead of display you can use here student file. Yes, capital student file you can be using student file. But here this is a method. Now who is calling here? s1 dot student file you are calling. Once you are calling s1 dot student file, it will be treated as a method, not the constructor, because constructors once you are creating the object automatically implicitly will call. No need to be called that one. If you are explicitly calling that one, means even the same name as a class name, same name you use for the method, but for this method it will not automatically call, because the constructor, when you are creating an object, then automatically the constructor will call over there. So that's why we have to be explicitly call the method. Sometimes you can use the same name as a class name for the method name also, it may not be used. So it is highly recommended to avoid names for the methods as the class names. That will be differ very clearly. Okay. So method names can use the class names, but we have to explicitly need to call it. But for constructors, we are using the class name itself, so automatically it will calls that. Okay. So what we have discussed in the constructor means we have discussed what is the purpose of constructor overloading, and whether it's return the value, and whether the constructor can perform the different installation other than installation. Yes, it will be. And we have seen one example, and we have seen the differences between this. So that's about the constructor method overloading and constructor overloading.